welcome to GameSpot of Thrones. You are watching just a small segment of a much larger program where we discuss in depth Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 1, The Red Woman. If you'd like to see the full episode, be sure to head to youtube.com/GameSpot. Beware of spoilers. Episode 1 of Season 6 left me feeling strangely optimistic for the outcome of some of the characters in Westeros. Especially, like Sansa, some nice allegiances were made, people got out of some tricky situations. Kate, are we right to put our trust in George R.R. Martin, that these characters are gonna, live happy, long lives?
I would love to say yes, Lucy, but every time something good has happened, even when it's something bad happening to a bad character, it always gets flipped. Like Joffrey dies and you're like, yes, finally. But then all the good people get blamed. They get put in prison. They have to escape. It all turns horrible again. It turns sour in your mouth. And I've actually been analysing how George R.R. Martin writes these seasons with obviously the writers of the next few seasons, because those books don't exist yet.
Come on, George.
So, at the start of each season, right, everything always seems quite peachy. So in season 4, you've got Oberyn swanning around being like, I'm great, I'm going to revenge everybody. And then he dies. You've got Daenerys getting some dragons, and then the dragons, go through their awkward teenage years, and that's what's happening right now. You've got Robb winning the war, and then, the Red Wedding. So every time a season starts, it goes, hey, maybe he'll turn out okay. And they never do. So bear that in mind. So in this episode, we've got Sansa and Theon being friends, finally.
Reeks redemption.
Brienne turning up and saving them just at the last minute. That was good. That wouldn't normally happen. Normally they'd die, and that would be the end of them. And you've got Davos going, maybe we can be saved by the wildlings. You've got Arya being trained to be a badass in Braavos, where no one's trying to kill her yet. But no, they're all going to die. Or at the very least, something awful will happen to them.
What I find quite interesting is that, weirdly, I see a lot of parallels between George R.R. Martin and Ramsay. Ramsay has it's a very manipulative streak, and sometimes he can use it to sort of gain people's affection. Mm-hmm. So if you think about, like, when he was talking to Theon, he builds him up because he needs him to do something. He builds him up. And then ultimately just says, like at the last minute, pulls the rug out from under his feet. And it's like, but remember who you are. And I feel like George does that a lot with some of the storylines. He makes you think that you're safe and you're fine. And then he just sort of completely kills all the characters you love, or just has a mini genocide at a wedding, or, it's very manipulative, but I can't deny that I absolutely love it.
So speaking of Ramsay, actually, this is another theory that I have. At the end of every single season, it tends to end well for at least one person. So season 1, you've got Joffrey, who's just killed Ned to prove his power and kind of, torture Sansa. You've got Daenerys in season 1 as well, who gets some dragons. Dragons are good. Season 2, you've got Robb, who's starting to win this war. Season 3, you've got Stannis, who starts to sacrifice children. That's not good.
Oh, Stannis.
But what turns out is that every time, the thing that they've done to make that season end well for them turns out to be their downfall. So Joffrey killing Ned, that starts a war. That's bad. Daenerys gets dragons. They turn out to be kind of difficult. Who would know? And so at the end of season 5, I had a look. It's Ramsay and the Sand Snakes who are doing the best. Like, all they're doing is going around killing people, but that makes them powerful. But that could come back to bite them in the ass. And at the end of season 5, we have Loras being not very secretive about his sexuality and being like, well, everybody knows. And we think that might actually become one of the plot lines in this season. So
what you're saying is George R.R. Martin is a sadist, and we're masochistic for enjoying Game of Thrones.
We're Reek.
Oh,
we're
God.
Reek in this
We
situation.
used to be Theon. We used to be in a position of power. Not anymore.
We can be Theon again.
He chopped off our bits, metaphorically.
Oh, goodness. Oh, Dave, your poor face.